all I got. Can I get a fucking break? Dear Lord, what is going on in the world, people? Who let this happen? Huh. My target for today is to pull your head out just a little bit of the cesspool so you can go and breathe through your nose before you stick your head back in. You're welcome. Actually, I am going to do what I can to contribute whatever might be possible, might be available today. And I'm going to go through a couple of concepts with you, see if they make sense to you. Realize that what's true always makes you lighter. A lie makes you heavier. If you don't know me, I'm Dain, and I'm a co-creator of Access Consciousness, this amazing modality of weirdos around the world where people just get happy and start creating what they want, and people look at them funny, like, why are you happy when I can't be? And it's like, because I'm using the tools, baby. I've been doing this for 25 years. And boy, have I seen a lot of things in the world in the last 25 years. Just look over 25 years. What was 25 years ago for you? Some of you are like, I wasn't born yet. Goodness, there's been ups and downs and all arounds ever since. And what's funny is a lot of people think it just gets more and more intense all the time. I was looking for a greeting card one time, and I went to this store and I picked up this card that had a newspaper clipping on the front. And the newspaper clipping said, due to the pace of technology, things are getting out of control, and people are so busy, busier than they've ever been before, and they don't have enough time for family and work and blah, 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 blah. Like technology is spiraling out of control and the pace of things is getting so fast. And I opened up the card. It said, this is from an 1890s newspaper clipping. And I was like, holy shit, it's been going on ever since we've had people. If that gives you any awareness that what seems to be getting more intense right now is just what seems to be getting more intense right now. It's been doing that for hundreds of years. So the real question then becomes, what choices do we have? What can we do and be that will allow us to hold our heads up high and walk through the world and create what we would like? So I wanted to gift you this live as a way of attempting to give you a little shot in the arm of possibilities, because as I've facilitated thousands of people in the last 25 years, it's an interesting thing to realize how many people desire something different, and they've tried so many things, but they just haven't worked. The thing I love about Access is it's not complex. Well, somewhat complex. Maybe you could say it's complex. But the tools basically are really simple to use. And what I found is people just don't seem to have the tools. So we're going to be using something called a clearing statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com if you don't know what it is. There's a 20-minute video of me and my friend Simone Milicis explaining it. But it's basically one of the biggest upgrades in personal development since we have had personal development. And it's a way of changing anything you want to change. So you'll hear me saying it. You'll know it when it happens. Trust me. You'll be like, what is the gobbledygook? That's the clearing statement is a gobbledygook, silly goose. And you notice I'm kind of happy. I know. Geez, I've been made wrong for that my whole life. What about you? You grew up around people where you were too happy and they shit on your head. In my family, if you were happy for longer than about 10 seconds, they would find a drama within the next 6 hours to bring you and everybody else down. It just was not acceptable to be happy. So I grew up hiding my happiness. And at a certain point, I hid it so well, even I couldn't find it. So I guess that's my first question. How much of your happiness have you hidden so well you don't even know where it is anymore? And some of you have given up looking for it. You're like, oh, I guess I lost it for good. Like a cat that leaves and you're like, oh, the coyote's got it. I don't need to keep feeding that thing. Everything that is times a gazillion. Where and when did you hide your happy, and what would it take to reawaken it? Everything that is, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. See, I told you you'd know it when I ran the clearing statement. That was the clearing statement. You're welcome. You're like, did you speak English? Not exactly. I spoke energy. Mm-hmm. Energy's awesome. English, yeah, especially if you're somebody trying to learn English and you speak another language. Whew, man, I think it's proof that our world has a sense of humor. The fact that English is one of the most widely spoken languages around the world, because it is one of the most challenging to learn. Anyway, that's a subject for another time, because I talk a lot to the translators who translate for Access, who are translating for you right now. Can we give the translators a hand? Yay! Because I speak English and energy, and that combo is not the easiest thing to translate. So there you go. Okay, so let's take a moment, take a deep breath. Do you ever do that? Have you ever in a thing, I don't know, whatever the thing is, and they're like, okay, now let's take a deep breath. And you're doing it, and you're so self conscious, you're not even sure you know how to breathe right. Yeah, that's some fucked up shit. Can I get a fucking break? That's some bullshit. So everywhere, you don't even know if you breathe right. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all 100. Pod, pod, shorts, boys, Bovats, bases, creations, and beyonds. Oh my goodness, tapping into you all around the world. There are so many things going on in your cute little heads. I had all kinds of things that I might talk about today, things that are, because we're continuously exploring in Access Consciousness how we can get you freer faster. And so there are all kinds of things that we've recently come upon that can be so helpful. And one of the things I do is I just tap into all of you and see what I can contribute. So, having said that, tapping into several thousand of you around the world is always a fun exercise to try to go, what can I contribute? Because everybody's got their own thing, right? So let's do this. So everything that makes you think you have your own thing. Oh, guess I know where to start now, don't I? Everything that makes you think you have your own thing, and it's just your thing, and you're the only one with that thing. Everything that doesn't allow you to know, you're aware of everyone in the world with that same thing. And you keep thinking it's just your thing, but it's not. 98% of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, 98% of your yuck stuck in what the fuck, 98% of the energy that makes you go, is stuff you're aware of in other people's worlds. Everything that you've done to believe that is all yours, everything you've been aware of just in the last week that you thought must be yours because it's so intense, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. So I'm going to give myself a little permission and give you a little permission. How about if we just get to relax for a few minutes? Just let's relax and be and see what rises to the surface as the thing that might be a contribution to us all. Um, hmm. There, deep, relaxing breath. Good. What if it's actually okay for you to chart a course that is different than what the world is trying to make you choose? Everything that doesn't allow you to know that, and everything that doesn't allow you to recognize you have just been given permission to dance to the beat of your own drummer, even if no one else gets it. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. What if your life and living could be exactly what you desired it to be? Now, a lot of you may have no clue what you desire it to be. Because here's what happens. So, over the last couple of years, ever since the wonderful pandemic, a lot of people have been worried about a lot of things, money being one of the big ones, and future being another one, and oh my God, are we starting World War III being another one, and politics being another one. And if you look at all that stuff and get embroiled in it, there's a lot of reasons to worry, but where does the worry get you? It doesn't get you anywhere. So, a tool from Access, what's true for you will always make you lighter. A lie for you will always make you heavier. Do you feel any different than when you got on this live today? We've been together about 10 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Um, See, the way that we can change things is not at all like what we thought. The greatest way is actually to be in the presence of things that lighten up your world, whatever they are. There's a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. Norman Vincent Peale, which is a great name for whatever the 40s or 50s or 60s, whenever he wrote the book. It's like, oh, what a name for that time. Anyway, he had cancer. And unlike most people with cancer, he was like, wonder what I can do to change this. So he went and watched comedy movies until he was laughing his ass off and laughed and laughed and laughed and got over it. What? 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 Okay, that was a weirdo, that guy. I love him. Okay, but the idea being, and this is one of the weirdest things because how many of you have the idea that you need to focus on all the problems and figure out and understand them and then solve them and then you can be happy. Then you can be light. Well, just logically, how well has that worked for you? Have you gotten lighter and lighter as you've done that? Have you gotten happier? Have you felt more connected to people? Have you had more sense of ease about future or less? And the more you try to understand it and figure it out, do you feel like you get buried more and more and more in understanding and trying to figure out without ever successfully doing so? So, what if that whole construct is flawed? Everything that is, everything that doesn't allow you to perceive that the way to actually make a change is to surround yourself with things and people that make you lighter and happier. And the more you do that, the more you will attract that. It's called quantum physics, if you've ever heard of that. What you're willing to be, you can receive. Everything that is times a godzillion. And everywhere you're like, fuck, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. Well, you destroy it, uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. So I didn't do much of an introduction of myself because from my point of view, I'm not the important party here. You are, okay? This is for me to contribute to you. And a lot of people in public speaking, they're like, introduce yourself and tell them why they should listen to you. I'm like, dude, you're already on the live. Why do I need to tell you why you need to listen to me? But I will say one thing. 25 years ago, the way I came to Access was because I was doing all kinds of self-help, spiritual stuff, all kinds of stuff, and trying to change my life. And I sucked at it. Nothing I did worked for very long. And I realized I need to do something different, but I couldn't figure out what was different. And all I did was I kept getting into more and more judgment of me as I was trying to understand what was causing my problems. Anytime you go into understanding, you have to solidify it and then try to figure it out. And that causes you to go into a massive spiral of self-judgment. So while we're at it, all the massive spirals of self-judgment you have been functioning from, thinking you don't have another choice. If you get nothing else out of today, I want you to know you have another choice. In fact, you have a lot of other choices. And I and thousands of people around the world who are actually navigating the shit show called this reality really successfully with a smile on our faces would like you to know you always have another choice. Everything that is, times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So I got to a point, it was after a weekend workshop. Have you ever gone to a weekend workshop and you're like, oh my God, I have found the answers to everything. I'm so happy. You leave Sunday night and you're on top of the world. You're soaring home. Yay. Well, what would happen for me is usually around about Wednesday, the fucking universe would cave in on my head again. And I was like, eh. And this literally happened on a Wednesday. And for the first time in my 30 years on the planet, yes, I am 54. Hello, who makes 54 look good? How you doing? That's what I'm talking about. If you got it, you should enjoy it. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I digress. Enough about this pretty picture. Oh, goodness. If you know me, you know I am totally self-absorbed. Okay. Anyway, if you didn't get that. Okay. Pocket pot all that. Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm kidding. I think I'm kidding. I don't really care if I'm kidding. It's just so much fun to be that way. Anyway, I know I'm totally entertaining. I'm self-entertaining. I don't need anybody else around. I can just entertain myself. I just wind myself up and just. By the way, how often have you been like that and been shut the fuck down for it? Man, when you are that enthusiastic, let your freak flag fly. Even I can say it, let your freak flag fly. No, seriously, if you're that enthusiastic, go for it, baby. And if you're pissing people off, those are judgmental people who have no business telling you anything about your life. Anyway, I digress. So I got to this place at 30 years old, and it was the first time in my life that I'd given up hope. Now, as I grew up, I experienced a lot of abuse, a lot of mean people who hated my happy and did everything they could to take it away. And to a certain extent, I thought I let them. In fact, I hadn't been happy for the better part of 3 years. And I went to this weekend workshop again. I've been to so many. My credit card was like, if your credit card can be like, imagine your credit card being like, I'm so chubby. That was my credit card. And and Wednesday of the following week, after being happy by the end of this thing, it felt like the universe caved in on my head again. And for the first time in my life, I'm like, I am out of here. I literally set a date to end my life 6 months in the future. And I figured I was going to get to leave because I had tried everything I could find. And a week later, oh, I saw an ad for Access Consciousness, and it said, Access, all of life comes to you with ease and joy and glory. Oh, don't you just get warm cuddles? Yeah, I was like, fuck you. My life is pain, suffering, and gory. By the way, if you don't like the F word, probably going to be a tough live for you to stay on. But anyway, Pock and Pod, your choice. I'm just so irreverent. I don't know what to do with myself. So I called and I had a session of something called Access Consciousness Bars. And in an hour and 15 minutes, I went from ready to leave this friggin' planet to this sense that it could be so beautiful to be alive. And I remember looking out at the clouds going, if it is this beautiful, I'm in. And has it always been this beautiful here? And what it gave me was the awareness of how quickly things can change when you address what's actually going on, when you don't have to avoid it anymore. And I didn't understand it. I didn't know what was happening. This person was just putting their hands on my head for an hour and 15 minutes, moving their hands to different places. At a certain point, I started giggling like a little kid. I was like, I felt like somebody came into my world and gave me the greatest gift that I had ever received up until that point in my life. And part of the reason I'm here, number one, alive, but part of the reason I wanted to do this Zoom for you is the way that we can get to a different space is not the way we think. And if you've been doing all kinds of stuff trying to get somewhere, even if you've done Access and you've been trying to use Access in a certain way, or like, I need to do this and I got to do this plus this in this way, instead do this. Ask a question. What else is possible I've never considered? If we truly live in a universe of infinite possibilities, even if I don't get it right now, then what is available for me is greater than anything I ever imagined. And then also, what's it going to take and what can I be that will change this? Whatever it is you're looking to change. And there's so many things that so many of us desire to change. And I want to say, you're not wrong for desiring to change those things. You're not wrong for being able to, for not being able to be happy with things the way they are when they're not as great as you know they could be. So everything you've done to make yourself wrong, everything you've done to be made wrong by others for desiring something different and greater, and everywhere you decided that must be a wrongness, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So a couple practical things for you. Number one, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Glory is exuberant expression and abundance. You want to say that 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening, and just let it do its thing. Okay? Don't put too much energy on it, but do it, please. If you don't do anything else from this Zoom, please do that. Okay? So that's first. Second is I'd like you to write down the top 3 areas of your life that need to change. Top 3 things that need to change, that if these things changed, you would allow yourself to be happy. Okay? Now, we're going to do a few things on those areas. We might just take one. We'll see how we go. But let me ask you a question. What if you chose to be happy even if those things don't change in the way you've decided they should? So every way in which you've decided these things have to change, that because they haven't changed in that way, you won't allow yourself to be happy, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, basics, creations, and beyonds. Let me ask you another question. What if, instead of those things having to change for you to be happy, and I know this is going to be weird, bear with me for a moment. What if you choosing to be happy would change those things? What? Did you say what? Are you still talking English, Dr. Dain? What said you? Okay, let's say this again. So you have these 3 things, right? And you may have 28, I don't care. I'm just talking about the 3 highest pain points, or the one, it doesn't matter, okay? None of that is relevant. I'm just trying to get you looking from a different direction, okay? So you have the idea that if your money stuff changed, then you could be happy. And if your stuff with this asshole you're living with changed, or the little assholes that came spurted forth from your loins, then you could be happy. Okay, or whatever. Okay, we all have stuff, okay? This is why these are my children back here. Don't have to feed them, don't have to clean their diapers, and they add magic to my life. Hey, how you doing? Anyway, what if instead of the money and the relationships and the living situation, all that, what if you choosing to be happy would allow you to be the space you required to see those things in the way you need to allow them to shift and change? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive that, and I may sound like you may not be understanding my English anymore, or your language is being translated. We destroy and uncreate everything that doesn't allow you to perceive it. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyond. See my cup? It says unicorns get thirsty too. That's right. I'm drinking unicorn urine because I hear it helps you fart rainbows. And hey, if you're going to impress your friends at a party, farting rainbows is one way to do it, let me tell you. Okay, so now, right now, if I say the thing about being happy, see, part of what I'm trying to do is break some of the structures that we've been functioning from, because so all of your projections, well, 2 things, all of yours and everybody else's projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections about what it's going to take to change these things that you desire to change, meaning all of your points of view and everybody else's about what it's going to take to change it, which keeps it from changing. Will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. Also, what have you decided is absolutely not changeable about this? That actually is changeable by you. That if you allowed yourself to change it, would make you aware of how truly phenomenal and miraculous you are. Let's stop there. Everything that is, times a gazillion, we destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Now, a lot of you may be noticing that your mind is blanking the fuck out right now. And a lot of you are like, no, I must understand what is being said. Well, number one, you can go watch this thing at any time. And I hope you do, because when you do, what's going to happen is the energetics of what I'm talking about will seep more and more and more into your world. the lightness that I'm inviting you to know is possible will seep more and more and more into your world. And that is a glorious thing. That's how we actually create change, by surrounding ourselves and interacting with and engaging with those things that create more lightness. So I'm going to run the process one more time, and then I'm going to give you another thing to do because, hey, don't we love more things to do? Goodness, thank you, Dain. I didn't have enough to do before I listened to you, asshole. Now, these are going to be fun things. It's going to be so easy. You're going to love it. You'll be like, oh my God, I finally like doing stuff. You're welcome. And before you ask, what drugs are you on? It's because I stopped taking my drugs that this is how I show up. All right. Okay. Just kidding. I didn't take drugs. I didn't need them. Although a while ago, I would have given my left arm for some Prozac. Anyway, I digress. Okay, pocket bot. That was 25 years ago. Okay. So what have you decided is absolutely not changeable about all this, that actually is changeable by you, that if you allowed yourself to change it by some friggin' miracle, would make you aware of how truly phenomenal and miraculous you are? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Oh, shit, something's happening. By the way, my fingers wiggle when I do this weird shit. I don't know why. It's like, hey, here's the energy, wiggle your fingers. So I do. You're welcome. So, one more time. But there's a sense of something finally shifting a bit. That's what I'm looking to do, is break apart that concrete that has been in your head about all of this, because all you require is one ray of sunshine in a dark room to remember that there is light. Okay? And when you remember and when you recall, you will seek the light. Carol Ann, go to the light. Carol Ann, go to the... No, that was a horror movie. I probably shouldn't use that as my best example of choosing more consciousness. But anyway, go to the light. Go to the pocket pot. Pocket pot. So what have you decided is absolutely not changeable about this? That actually is changeable and it's already changing. Nanny, nanny, nanny. Ha ha, gotcha. Ha! You didn't think it was going to happen, did you? Ha ha! It is happening already. Whew. I'm excited for you. Give me a break. All right. Wait. Okay. And I smell good. So there. Everything that is. Times a godzillion. Right? Wrong about all 100. Pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Woo! Okay. We're getting somewhere, peoples. So, the more you engage with what makes you light, man, watch movies that make you laugh. Don't watch movies that make you afraid, okay? Anything. So here's, oh goodness, so many places we could go. So one of your next tools, things to do, is write down a list of things that make you light and happy. Write down a list of people that make you light and happy. You know how there's some people in your life, you hang out with them and you're like, oh, that was wonderful. We didn't even say a word. Or every time you see them, you get a smile on your face. And they give you a hug that's actually a genuine hug. Not one of these like slap, slap, slap on the back. I hate touching people kind of things, you know? And each of us has different people. That's great, as we should. By the way, how many people have you cut out of your life because somebody else in your life didn't want you to have those people? But those people are really your people. And instead of being around your people, now you're being around other people that aren't really your people to try to prove that you can be those people that are not your people. How about if you reconnect again with all the people that were ever a contribution to you, that ever made you smile, ever made you happy, ever made you feel good about yourself? And what if you started reconnecting with all those things that made you happy? Things like comedy, music, moving your body, having sex, like hanging out with wonderful people. Everything that is. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive that there are things out there that are lightness that will bring lightness to you, and you friggin' deserve it. Everything that doesn't allow you to know you friggin' deserve it. Everything that doesn't allow you to know you're far more beautiful than you've been giving yourself credit for being. Everywhere you've been buying into everybody else's self-judgment and thinking it's yours. Everywhere you've been buying into everybody else's poverty and thinking it's yours, because the world is living in poverty right now, but you do not have to. Everything that is times a godzillion. Did I say it with enough intensity for you to go, oh, okay, I would listen? Okay. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Write a list, okay? Things that make me happy and light. And for me, when you're happy and light, one of the basic tools of access, what's true for you always makes you lighter. a lie will always make you heavier. So anything that makes you happier and lighter is something that is giving you a space of more you. And what I'm really trying to invite you to, and invite you to know, and hopefully inspire you to know as possible, is when you have you ever noticed that when you're happy and you look at something like a choice, like moving or a job or a house or a date or like, do I read this or do this? When you're happy, it's like there's a fullness and it's like all of your cylinders are functioning. And yet when you're sad and depressed, it feels like there's no space for you to even look, is this something that would contribute to me? So one of your greatest things you can do for you, I would say your job, but who needs to be given another fucking job at this point? Okay. But one of the things I would invite you to for you is to start exploring and being acutely aware of those things that make you lighter and happier. Those things that when you do them, you light up. Like, for example, before I got on, I did a live, ooh, that might be another one. Maybe we can put a link somewhere to the live that I did that was about body whispering, but it was about silence and space. It was really beautiful. And all you got to do is listen to it. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get more space. Okay, so that's one thing. But before that live, I was doing all kinds of stuff. I was printing dragons. I was like, phew, and the thing wasn't working, and the printer wasn't working, and stuff doesn't work. Why does stuff not, everything should work all the time. But anyway, I digress. That is not today's conversation. Anyway, stuff is not working. So it took a lot more time to do my thing. And I was like, oh, goodness, I can go for a run before this live if I don't shower. And I thought, if you know anything about me, I'm a a bit of a clean freak. Okay. So I thought I could go for a run if I don't shower. And I went, I'm going for a run anyway, even if I don't shower. And I did that because of the lightness I knew it would bring. I knew that if I did that, I would be lighter, I would be happier. My body would have a sense of aliveness that if I didn't, I would have less of. So for me, what I've learned to do is I've learned to become acutely aware of those things that make my world expand and the things that make my world contract. And to the best of my ability, choose more of those things that expand my world. The way to truly change your life is simpler than any of us have ever fathomed or imagined. We just have to give ourselves permission to do it. The way to truly change your life is to choose more things that create lightness for you. What? Shouldn't someone have told us that, like when we were born? Yeah, but they didn't know. That's why there's this beautiful thing called access consciousness, where it's about accessing our consciousness, our awareness of what is, and our definition of consciousness, where everything exists and nothing is judged. So the way to actually do this is, and here's the other weird part, is it's our choice. So let me ask you another question. How much have you decided you don't have choice? And how much do you not have choice because you decided you don't have choice? How much have you not only decided you don't have choice, but how much are you aware of all the people around the world that are functioning from their poverty consciousness? Which is poverty unconsciousness, really, because if you leave a piece of ground, even asphalt, for any length of time, shit grows everywhere. Okay? Like everywhere. We do not live in a world of poverty. The earth doesn't believe in poverty. Nothing believes in poverty except us idiots. We're not doing ourselves a favor. So how much have you tapped into the poverty of the world? And because you can feel it, because you can literally feel the energy of it in your body, you've decided it's yours. Everything that is. And everywhere you've decided, that's how you have to be too. Everywhere you, in the last few years, more than before even, have given up on the possibilities you used to hope for, and how much of that is not yours. Everything that is, everything you've done to buy, all of that is yours. Everything you've done to give up on looking for and asking for possibilities, will you destroy and create it all, please? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, about all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Now, guess what? As we do for everything else, we have a tool for that. In access consciousness, We have a tool where you ask, who does this belong to every thought, feeling, and emotion, every point of view you have, every sense of stuck, yuck, or what the fuck. For 3 days, you ask, who does this belong to? Like, let's say you've got a sense of, oh my God, hopelessness, I can't do it. Oh, money is struggle right now. Well, go, who does this belong to? If that lessens at all, what it's telling you is that you're having awareness of that. And the awareness isn't just from people you're around, though that's more intense, like a speaker that's really loud, but it can be anybody in the world. So if you ask, who does this belong to for 3 days, to every thought, feeling, and emotion, every point of view, every yuck, stuck, what the fuck that you have, if it lightens up at all, it's not yours, return it to sender with consciousness attached. This works for body stuff. It works for depression. It works for a sense of poverty, works for a sense of no possibilities. And from my point of view, the greatest poverty is a sense of no possibilities. The sense that something cannot change, the sense that we're stuck with what is and we don't know what to do to change it. Dude, and guess what? If you've had that in any area, you are not alone. Every single person listening to this, every single person watching this has had that. You are not alone. You are not wrong. But what if you were kind enough to you and valued you enough and honored you enough to go, I am finding a way to change this. I'm not going to be there for the slow descent into the abyss that my life is currently on. I am changing this as of now. Universe, show me. And then what you do is pock and pot everything that doesn't allow it. Okay, so I know I've said a lot of stuff already. Okay, but pock and pod what doesn't allow it. Pock and pod stands for the point of creation and the point of destruction. It's in the middle of the clearing statement, and it's about going to the point of creation of wherever you created a solid point of view and that is currently unchangeable and asking it to change, and it does. Okay, the more you use this, the more your life will change. So you go, okay, after any time. So sorry, ADHD. I got so many things I want to say. There's like 1,000 things that are like backed up behind my head that want to come out of my mouth. I need more mouths. Everything that doesn't allow me to have as many mouths as I would like. Ooh, if I had more mouths, I could start an OnlyFans channel. That would solve everybody's financial problems. I wonder what. Okay, just pondering possibilities, people. You want to ponder the possibilities when they show up. Don't shut them out. How many mouths? No. Okay, pock and pod. So one of the things I'd like you to do is, in addition to everything else I suggested that you do, is when you ask for something or when you ask for something, you can go pock and pod everything that doesn't allow that. And then you can run the whole clearing statement or just go pock and pod everything that doesn't allow it. Or when you're in the middle of something that's yuck, stuck, or what the fuck, who does this belong to? Pock and pod when I bought it is mine, return to sender, and everything that's there, pock and pod that shit. Now, it may work or it may not, but you've used about 2 seconds of your life, energy in that moment. You used about 2 seconds of your time, and very possibly, if you catch it in the moment, you might change it for good. So what this is about, this idea of all of this that I'm talking about, is that things are finally changeable. Okay? Things are finally changeable. Now, if you hear something like that and you're like, yes, and then right after that is, no, it's not. Here's where your choice comes in. You get the energy of no, it's not. And sometimes you'll even get a sense of your mom telling you, or your grandmother, or your weird, creepy Chester the molester uncle, or I don't know what you had going on. Anyway, okay, you'll get a sense of the voice that is still in your head from somebody else. 2 things. You acknowledge it. Okay, 3 things. Number 1, you acknowledge it rather than just suffer it. Number 2, you go, I'm changing this now. And number 3, everything that is, destroy and uncreate, pock and pot all that shit. Okay? And I know some of this may not make sense to you right now, especially if you're brand new and this is the first time you're seeing me or hearing of Access. But within a very short amount of time, it becomes second nature. It's just one of those things that may be brand new to you. But basically, the way it works is this, and please go watch the clearing statement video. You'll get a lot more awareness of the specifics of this. I just don't want to take 20 minutes explaining it, okay? But when you go, okay, I would like this. I would like this. So right now, think of one thing that you would like different. Really simple, general. Hey, I would like more ease with money. I would like more ease with this relationship. Oh, I'd like this thing that has been sitting here taking up so much of my energy to just shift in a way that works for me. Cool. You ask and you shall receive is one of the laws of the universe, which is so weird because it doesn't seem like that, but that's actually how it works. And if we had enough time, I could walk you through all of that, but I want to go in other directions. Let's just say ask and you shall receive is one of the ways the universe actually works. Okay. So get something you would like to change and just get just that. Okay, I would like to change this. And then you go, cool, everything that doesn't allow that to change and everything that doesn't allow me to change so I can be the person that doesn't need this to validate my reality anymore. Destroy and uncreate it. Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, about all 100. Pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Now, I don't do very many things that don't have prerequisites because, um, well, just because. I was going to say, um, simply, it doesn't, who cares? That was an irrelevant conversation I was about to have. Hey, another thing, when you go to say something that's totally irrelevant, just shut up. I just gave you a living example. Okay, there you go. I don't do many things that have prereqs. There, that's my sentence. That's the end of my concept. You're welcome. Okay, there it is. But I do have something coming up called Goodbye Poverty, Hello Money. Okay, and in that, we're going to delve into the specifics of unlocking this poverty mentality bullshit that we have allowed to encroach upon our worlds. You do not deserve that. Okay. Okay, I'm reading my notes. I'm 10 a.m. Houston, 5 p.m. Central European time on April 24th. Okay, and it's only $40. It is $40 to get over your poverty, or at least start getting over your poverty. Okay, and my target with that is to make a dent so big in your poverty consciousness that you cannot fill it back in ever again. Okay, and so there. Okay. Um, so if you get an awareness of something that you would like to change, oh my goodness, the tiniest little hummingbird I've ever seen in my existence was humming like a bird. Hummingbird. Have you ever heard a hummingbird hum? Has anybody? That's weird. But anyway, they should call it a svelte, very fast hoverbird. But they don't. They call it a hummingbird. This is one of life's mysteries, I'm just realizing in this moment. They don't hum, which I guess I'm glad, because do you want to listen to a bird hum? No, you want to listen to a bird sing. Do they sing? Anyway, I am digressing again. I apologize. Some of you are like, dude, get to the point. I'm like, you don't think I said that to myself 8 billion times in my 54 years on the planet? Anyway, oh, pardon me. I have to have some dragon juice. I got a dragon mug. I got a unicorn glass. And I'm a 54-year-old straight man. That's awesome. Figure that shit out. Yeah, that's right. 6-year-olds, you have nothing on me. All right. Plus, I'm beginning again to be as happy as I was when I was 6. Before all them old people got into my business and tried to make me like them. And I was like, okay, mommy and daddy, I'll try to be as unhappy as you are. Dude, how many of you, when you were little, were happy? And then some of you had parents. Everything that is. Times it got, not your fault. So where you get a body here. What a weird, bizarre thing that is, too. Anyway, don't even get me started on that one. Everything that is times a godzillion. We destroyed and created all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. Oh, they squeak. Hummingbirds squeak. And they make noise when they fight for food. I'm getting details. Yeah, very grateful for those details. Thank you. So if you get the sense of something you'd like to change, you go, hey, I would like to change this. Ask and you shall receive is one of the laws of the universe. Okay. Now, what do you do right after that? You go, everything I've decided is not changeable about this, destroy and uncreate it. Pock and pot. Everywhere I bought, everything I bought from everybody and everybody else's point of view, this is not changeable. And everything I grew up with that tells me this is not changeable. And everybody who currently is functioning from the poverty that this is not changeable. Pock and pot all that shit and return to sender with consciousness attached. And then, so you make your request, okay, for something to change. And even that for most of us is groundbreaking, earth shattering. That alone, if you get nothing else other than I can ask to change these things, that alone will change your whole world, okay? And then you go pock and pod everything that doesn't allow me to know it's changeable, everywhere I bought that it isn't, everywhere I bought it from everybody else, all of my life experience that tells me that it has to be this way or is not changeable, pock and pod that shit. And you are actively choosing to make a choice for changing these things. And what you don't realize is you choosing is the key to changing everything. And we would hope that I chose it now and it should show up tomorrow or show up tonight or show up right now. Well, you may not be there yet because of all of the points of view that you've developed of how change works and that you've held on to this for this long and the rightness of holding on to it or the wrongness for letting it go or that you'd be too free, which hopefully we'll address before I end this live. I'm on a Zoom. You're on a live. You get there. We're fucking communicating, whatever it is. Okay. This video audio interaction that we are having. Nice to be with you. But that choice, you choosing, is where it's at. And over time, choosing and choosing and choosing, even if it doesn't show up right away. And I'm going to say a lot of times it's not going to show up right away, but what will start to show up is you will start to ditch the poverty, which is primarily created by believing you don't have choice. Okay, that's one of the greatest elements of poverty we have, is the poverty of choice, the idea that we don't have choice. We're stuck with this. I don't know how to change it. It's not about knowing how to change it. It's about asking for it to change and pock and potting everything that's in the way of you knowing it can change, and pock and potting where you bought that it can't change, and pock and potting everybody else's point of view and everybody else's poverty that you've been vibrating like and functioning from, and then asking for something different. Okay, I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. There are about 8 million other things I want to talk to you about. I hope you have a few hours, translators, and everybody watching. I hope I hope you cleared your schedule for today because I got a lot of shit to talk about. Pock and pot. Everything that makes me believe. No. So the next element is then asking. You're acknowledging that you're asking for something different, but ask a question like, what else is possible here I've never considered? What's it going to take to change this with total ease? If I were truly miraculous, how could this show up? And everything that doesn't allow me to be that miraculous, pock and pod. And so what I see is I see thousands of people walking around the world being miraculous when other people don't know it's possible. And they don't acknowledge it until I acknowledge it to them. I'm like, are you aware? Okay. They're like, oh yeah, I just got this and everybody else got less. Like, I just got this insurance settlement because my house burned down and they paid for more than my house was worth. Everybody else, they gave them 10 cents on the dollar. I'm like, well, you acknowledge that you're miraculous. Oh, really? I thought that just happened. So the other thing is acknowledge when you create miracles, acknowledge when you create things that are lighter, and acknowledge when you create things that are different than you expect, but also different than other people are able to create. And that's not creating a separation. That's creating an acknowledgement of you. The more you acknowledge you, the more humble you become. People that are arrogant and abusive and gaslighting of others, they're not acknowledging themselves. They have such a deep-seated level of insecurity that they're trying to control others by nefarious means. So everywhere you decided that if you acknowledge you, you'd be a bad person, You'd be one of those arrogant people, and you'd be somebody who doesn't care about people, rather than recognizing that the more you acknowledge you, the more humble you become, the more able to contribute to others, the more able you are to see the gift of others, the more able you are to receive the gift that other people are, and the more you're able to receive everything, including everything you desire and everything you would desire to change, or you destroy and uncreate all that, please. Times a gadzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all 100, pod, poc, shorts, boys, poveds, bases, creations, and beyonds. So, questions like that, start instituting that, please. Okay, so I gave you all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Who does this belong to? Or is this mine? Which is just huge right now. And I kind of want to go into that just a little bit more. I'm not sure. We'll see where we go in the next moment or two. Pock and pod, any limitation you say, any limitation you think, just go pock and pod all that shit. Like if you go, oh, I can't do this, go, wait a minute. Okay. Because remember, your point of view creates your reality. When you have the thought, I can't do this, that's what your reality will become. That also is quantum physics. It's also consciousness. Your point of view creates your reality. Reality does not create your point of view. If you're interested, here's another thing you can do while we're on that subject. Write down the top 100 crappy points of view that you keep perpetrating on you. Okay. And then as you're writing those down, or after you write them down, you might write down all the people in your life that you learned and bought that from. Okay. Now, what do you do with that other than cry over it and hope to drown it with your tears? There is that. That's one possibility. So many choices. But what I'd like you to do is look at that and go, holy shit. And I'd like you to, this is forming itself as I'm speaking. I'd like you to get a sense of you, the being that you were before you came into this body. Hello. Wow. Dude, you're phenomenal. Huge. Well, guess what, cutie? That's the being you still are. You've just overlaid it with all of the thoughts, feelings, and judgments and structures of this reality as a way of trying to get by here, as a way of not being too much. I haven't even been able to cover that topic yet. Damn it. But I'd like you to get the sense of being the being you were before you came into this body. And then I'd like you to think of looking at that list of the top 100 crappy limited points of view you have and look and go, as a being, did I have those points of view before I got here? Or did I buy them? And was I taught to institute them? And was I required to institute them so I could vibrate like the people I grew up around? So I could prove to my mom and dad that I love them by being like them. So I could prove to them that I was like them so they wouldn't hate me too much or think I was too weird or abuse me or think I was like an alien. And in that moment, the tools I've just presented to you, you can use to create change. So what do you do? See, all of this is getting you more aware. Remember our definition of consciousness in Access Consciousness. Everything exists and nothing is judged. See, the only thing that you can't change is the thing you keep hidden or the thing you lie to yourself about and the thing you're not willing to look at. Well, what I've done is give you a really simple way of exploring the limited points of view that you've been thinking are yours. Well, of course you think there is. You've been living them. You've been living the effect of them, right? But this is where all of our crap comes from, to where we need a fucking break. What we need a fucking break from is everything that's not us. Oh my God. And a lot of you are like, I need a break from my life. I'm like, you need a break from living what is not truly you and being able to access more of what is. And please realize, I know the way we're wired. I want it all now. So do I. I've been doing this for 25 years, changing every day, and I get more every day. A little patience and a little gratitude for the changes you get, the space you get. Like, do you feel different than when we started the Zoom? Your mind may be less in charge because your mind is like, what is happening? I can't control this. Yeah, that's how you know we're getting somewhere. You might go blank, and then from blank, you might be like, wow, this is awesome. Or you might go from blank to, oh, I must control something and have something solid. What if you didn't? What if you could be like, wow, something is different. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is either. I just know that when we get together and be together, have these conversations, pock and pod some stuff, bring up a lot of what isn't and clear it, bring up a lot of what is and can be and present it and be in the presence of it, we change. That's how our beings change. It's not rocket science. It's consciousness, which is quantum physics is the way to explain consciousness, except it doesn't do nearly as good a job as I would hope. But anyway, that's a story for another time. So back to our conversation. So if you write down all these points of view of bleh, and you look and go, oh, this person in my life in the past, all these people have this, wow. And you look at the being that you were before you came in and ask, does that being have these points of view? And you're like, oh my God, no. What do you do then? I hope you go, everything that is, and everything I did to buy it, and everything I'm still doing to buy it and perpetrate it. I now destroy and uncreate it and let it go. Times a godzillion. A godzillion is a number so big only God knows. It's steroids for the clearing statement. It's rocket fuel for the clearing statement. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyonds. And go down the list and set yourself free. See, the beauty of this is you are the one that sets you free. You. What? How much have you looked for somebody outside of you to set you free? Now, I will do my best to inspire, I'll do my best to push your buttons. I'll do my best to invite you. I'll do my best to give you tools. You're the one who sets you free. The other thing I want to make very clear is please do not follow me and do not follow anyone but you. You are the only one who knows what's true for you. Nobody else knows more about you than you do. And that's not to say that all kinds of people can't contribute, especially the more you're willing to receive. You'll start to notice people will be able to contribute to you more the more you receive more. Why have we not been receiving more? Oh, let's see. That right there, not receiving, is pretty much what creates poverty based on self-judgment, based on all kinds of other things. So I can't get into all of those. I wish I could. But as we start to unlock our self-judgment and our need to be perfect and our need to have receiving only come through perfectly perfected channels, we start to receive more from people. We start to receive more from plants, from the sun, from dragons, from everything around us. We actually start to allow ourselves to perceive the world through eyes of magic and wonder again. Oh, what else is possible? So I'd like you to get, again, the sense of the being that you were before you came into this body. How much magic and wonder did that being know? Dude. And then if you walk yourself forward to, maybe that's too much, a little too significant in people's worlds. But rather than like, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to use that being that you were before you came into the body as a litmus test, as a way of looking at the things that are occurring or the things that might make you heavy and go, okay, would I choose that if I were that being? Because everything that's not that light and that expansive is something you bought, something you have chosen to solidify. So let me address that right now and another thing, and then I will kick your cute little butts out. Okay. I think we planned on more than an hour for this, yes? Yeah. Let's put it this way. Everybody I work with is like, it's Dain time. So it could be 15 minutes. It could be 6.5 hours. I don't know. So I want to walk you through two things really quick and blah, blah. Once again, there's so many things. Oh, goodness. Okay. First thing, I guess there's three particular. First thing is an energetic thing. Yes, on some level, it's all energetic. But there's something that within a few months of that first bar session that I had 25 years ago, um, there was this way of working with energy and beings and bodies that came into my world. I call it ESB, energetic synthesis of being. And based on that, I wrote a book called Being You, Changing the World. And it just continues to grow. Um, see, and so that's part of what I want to contribute here to you for the next little bit. And what I'd like you to do, my favorite question when I do a session like this is, if you could have anything out of this, what would it be? Now, if you're there and this is your first live and you're like, this guy is waving his hands at me. Yep, you're correct. Because I'm finally willing to be weird because I'm a lot happier that way. It's like, and what I realized is people's point of view about me is not relevant to me. Not in a dismissive way at all, just people judge because people judge. What if you could have that point of view? You know, how much of the stress that you've had in your life is based on people's points of view about you, and you try to bend, fold, staple, and mutilate you to make them happy, and then they just judge you for something else. The freedom here, and we're going to talk about this on the poverty call quite a bit because that's really where all of it stems from. But the freedom here is, it's not about them. Your life is not about them. And the freedom is actually in willing to be the source for your life. And that has major ramifications in the world, but I won't even try to go into that right now. But the freedom is, what if other people's judgments and points of view about you are no longer relevant? And again, you tend to go to, yes, but then I would be a bad person who did whatever I wanted. What if you were a great person that did whatever you wanted? Why does that make you a bad person? Because you don't believe in other people's judgments and won't let judgment limit you? That being that you were before you came into this body, if that being never let anybody's judgment limit it, would that being let anybody's judgment limit it? Hell no. That being would be so big that it's like judgment would be here and it would be here and judgment would be like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr," wouldn't have any space to exist. So if you look at that for a moment, and I'm talking while I'm ESBing, energetic synthesis of being is what I call this, or symphony of possibilities. So there must have been something that occurred between you being that being and now. What we're doing is undoing what's not that being that you are. We're also simultaneously inviting you to tap into, even if it's just a moment or a thread, of being that being. I've said being a lot, haven't I? Of being that being in your choices, bringing that being more present into your life. And for some of you, it can get where you might be like, oh, this is a spiritual exercise. I don't get it. And I totally understand. It's actually not. I just don't usually point it out this directly. Go through something over many years. Here you are, not being, or being sometimes. But the whole idea of this is that being is you. Now, a lot of you, your brain and your mind left the station 30 minutes ago. No problem. So when I'm doing this, you're like, dude, just shut up. It's like a train wreck. Like, I want to look away. I want to turn off the light, but I can't. Something here draw me in. That's your being, by the way. Not your mind, but that's a story for another time, too. So many stories for so many other times. We have to get together 897 other times so I can tell all the story. but then I'll have more stories. So 897 times, maybe twice. 897 times 2, 1800, 1794 times. That's right. Okay. It's my brain. It's not my fault. It's called Dain's brain. Okay. So, whatever that was, so sorry to do that to you. Some of you may notice something, more space. So, two quick things I want to do. One is, I guess it speaks to what we've been speaking to. There's a sense I've had recently of you come into this lifetime, you are functioning way more like that being. You don't have a point of view, you have lightness. And through a very short period of years, it's like, so you have this ball of light that you are, this thing that doesn't have a point of view, has infinite possibilities, no judgment, no limitation, no poverty. And you grow up on this planet with these people in this world. And it's almost like you put a shell around you that you then live your life from. And yet, here's the part that, anyway, my sense is we did that knowingly. We put the shell around us knowingly. But in this lifetime, at least, we knew there would come a time to unlock it. We knew there would come a time to untwist us out of the shell we put around us. We put the shell around us for many reasons, part of which being so we're not so much chaos that we sort of explode and destroy the world. But we also did it so the world could never truly access or destroy us. What that creates is you never getting to be the communion with everything except through these tiny little portals that you put in the shell. So my question to you is now the time to destroy the shell, to kill the shell, to let it go? Now, this is not something I have talked about before yesterday, so this is not anything that has ever been done before yesterday. And if it has a sense of being true for you, then let's acknowledge now is the time and now is the space. And if you would be the locks and keys and put the locks and keys together and set us and our world and our earth and our universe free. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 100, shorts, boys, povads, bases, creations, and beyond. Whoa. Well, may have taken an hour and 7 minutes to get there, but boom, shaka motherfucking laka. So the other thing that I was going to do is have you get a sense right now of having ease with enjoying your life. Even if you haven't seen it show up in a long time, whatever, that I don't care. Get a sense of that being that you are, but get a sense of what it would be like to have ease with your life, ease with money, ease with your relationships, having people who truly support you and contribute to you come into your life, and having people who don't leave your life, have them leave your life with total ease. Get a sense of enjoying what you do for money, work, whatever. Get a sense of actually liking you and being willing to be as different as you are and thriving on that difference and not having to prove anything to anyone about anything about you. And get a sense of being willing to chart your own course and recognize that as you do, you will be even more of a contribution to others. And get a sense of having energy, having your batteries be able to continuously be topped off so you can always have the energy that you desire, so you're not so fucking tired all the time. What I'd like you to do is get a sense of that and maybe have it in like a, I don't know, space in front of you or whatever, or maybe with your body. And I'd like you to pull energy into that from all over the universe. It's a very large universe, by the way. Pull energy into it from all over the universe. More and 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 more until your heart opens up. And now let little trickles go out to everyone and everything that's going to help make it a reality for you that you don't even know yet. Or that you do know. Who cares? Okay, beautiful youth. I hope you got a friggin' break today. Hope this was a contribution, and I'm so grateful to all the people behind the scenes, including the translators. You guys rock, and all the people who make this happen. Man, I just want to give you a little seal clap, a big seal clap, actually. And thank you all for taking the time out of your day. I hope this was a contribution to you. One other thing to be aware of is the energy. The more you listen to this, even if it's in the background or watch it, however you interact with it, the more you will become everything I talked about. That's the way this consciousness thing works. I know it's the way it works with the things that I deliver. I've seen this over the years. The more you listen, the more you engage with it, the more you receive it, the more you will become it. Because that's really what all of this is about. And it's totally beyond cognitive. We have on April 21st, April 24th, the at 10 a.m. Houston, 5 p.m. Central European time. Bye-bye poverty, hello money, where this listening is going to be, I'm going to make people listen to this before they get on that because I don't want to rehash everything I just said. I want to start from here and go on. So that's only $40. And my hope with that is in that time together, we can truly create a dent in the poverty consciousness that a lot of us have been aware of and thinking is ours. So I thank you for being. Please recognize you are a gift. And if somebody has not told you, they should be telling you every single day, you are a gift. And please hear that when I say it. And please know this earth, our earth values you. This universe values you. I value you. And there are a lot of amazing people in the world that value you also. Let's create something far more wonderful together by accessing what's true for us. See you soon, beautifuls. Mwah! Kisses upon all your cheeks. Bye bye for now. I wonder if I can make her. Let's try. Huh? Hello? Come on. Huh?